pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. Today is Tuesday, March 21st, 2024, the time being 5:30 p.m., the meeting of the Greensburg Board of Works is called to order. At this time, please silence all electronic devices. To comply with Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the city requests that participants in this meeting complete a voluntary anonymous survey that's available on the table in the back of the room. Amy, would you please call the roll?
Jamie Kane, Lindsay Job, here. Robin Meyer,
Here.
Glenn Tebby,
Here.
And Mayor Joshua Marsh.
Jamie did let me know just a few minutes ago that he was ill and unable to make it this evening. You all should have received a copy of the minutes, February 21st. If there are no edits, additions, or corrections, those will stand as presented.
So moved.
Seeing none? Perfect. Okay. Old business is the consideration of the Washington Township fire contract. I believe Chris made some changes based on feedback after last meeting. Does anyone have any further questions regarding that?
I do appreciate the adjustments being made. I think it clarifies, but it doesn't change any substance.
Oh, I meant to turn it on. I do appreciate the changes that were made. I think it clarifies things. It really doesn't substantively change anything in the contract.
No, it does not, and I appreciate the points that you made. I want to just kind of update you on where that currently stands. Is I've sent that red line version to council for the Washington Township trustee, and she's going to get with the trustee and get back to us on that. She did inform me that she is on vacation this week, so I told her, it's not I wouldn't say it's probably a time pressing type of thing. It's just we're kind of getting to the end zone of it. So I think procedurally you could do a couple of things this evening that I think would be appropriate, either or. You could either move to table this again one more month to get any comments back from them, or if you feel comfortable, you could authorize signature by Mayor Marsh, assuming that they don't have any changes to what we've suggested. And based on what the suggestions were and the fact that I really don't think it changes anything substantively, I don't anticipate there being any blowback from the
Is there I don't know, to Chris's point, I'm not sure that it's time sensitive incredibly. If we want to wait to hear from them and put it on April, that's okay too. Because I don't think their next meeting's until April anyway. She told me that when it was, but I don't recall. So it's probably not getting approved in the next 30 days anyway on their side.
And I probably would say the only thing that I can think of that in terms of what you addressed that might have just some discussion, I don't think it's going to be an issue, but in terms of the ownership of the sirens, that could be something that they may want to flesh out a little bit more
Discussion.
in terms of what it is, because the way I rewrote it really makes it more of a optional type of situation. And if there's some strategic reason they have that they don't want that, then they may come back on that. But that would be the only point that I would consider to be potentially discussion worthy.
Well, with that, I would move that we table this until we hear back from them regarding our changes.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Are we okay substantively with what's in there? If they agree to take it to their board and sign it, we're okay with that? Perfect. Okay. Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay. Matt is with us again this evening from the Veritas Group for our update. He's here to talk to the council later too, so we have 2 months in a row. So welcome back. Thanks, Matt, for being here.
Yes, good to see everybody again. Good evening. know it was just 3 weeks since we gave the last update, but there's still been pretty good progress out there, still moving forward. With site work, they're continuing the curbs, so the shared lot in between the two buildings, they've got the radius curve in now. And the existing bare shell that went out to Broadway, the asphalt has been removed there to make way for the new road to go down. And they're continuing the extension down to the street department. At the fire station, in the back of it, you can't see it well in this photo, but in the drone video, you'll be able to see that they've started the concrete work on the back side of the fire, the approach aprons, and again, getting ready to get started on the exterior fiber cement board. They were able to get the window frames installed. That includes the interior. Got a couple of photos of that. So the glass is going on the inside as well. And they did get the curtain wall installed there in the apparatus bay, which is shown there on the east side of the building. Painting is still looking to get started this month. Rooftop unit this month, and they have started the hard lid grid and the ceiling grid on the interior as well. Still anticipating the generator to be installed in the middle of July, so if that does come to fruition, we've already talked to the contractor about getting a temporary generator out there on site to power those needs until that does arrive. The interior shots, you can see again the ceiling grid going down the corridor, the window frames, storefront frames there into the different rooms, and some of the ceiling framing going in as well. At street department, the overhead doors did get the window inserts installed in those. Painting is near complete on the interior there. And again, same thing, they've got the ceiling grid installed in this building as well as the overhead bay heaters in the maintenance bay. Out there by the mezzanine, the metal stairs are now installed, and the railing at the mezzanine is also installed. And they'll be looking to do the sealed concrete in the maintenance bay later this month as well. And then casework has arrived, and that's starting to go in as well. As you can see in this photo, they've got it staged in the room. After painting is complete, they'll get that installed, and then you can see the maintenance bay. Overall in budget, the GMP was $19,908,000. The last board meeting, we talked about an additional $200,000 for some additional scope to basically pave all of the street department lot, as well as put in some preemptor devices and flashers for the fire station for safety for the pedestrians around that area. Project remains on schedule again for late spring, which would be substantial completion at the end of May, and then June would be the month for actually moving in furniture and getting everything moved in. That's all I have for the update. The salt barn and the storage building there. Nope. There we go. So the salt barn and storage building, they've got all of the metal panels installed. The storage building has had the slab poured as well, I believe last week. All of the underground storm is done. And then as we come into view in between the two buildings, again, is the lot. Last time they just pretty much had the straight curbs. They were able to get the radius curbs in as the weather has allowed for them. And then you can start to see the apron being poured there and the drive approaches to the backside of the fire station. That portion that is just leaving the screen, that was actually poured today as well. So they were able to get that completed today. And then as we move around, you'll start to see the curtain wall system at the side of the apparatus bay was installed as well. And then there's also curtain wall system on the opposite side of the building adjacent to a stairwell. They've got the framing installed today. I would imagine they'd have the rest of it done tomorrow and potentially glazed tomorrow as well. Then you can see the working on bare shell right there. They'll be putting aggregate in, anticipation for the new curbs that will be going in there. And you can start to see the kind of the shape and the bend there in bare shell as it continues on to the extension. Any questions? Great.
Okay, thank you.
Everyone.
Yep. Chief McNeely, you've got an update on the K9.
Good evening, board. You should have had something in front of you when you sat down, or I handed something to you, and I'll just read the presentation to you. A few weeks ago, K9 handler Stephen Hirschberger was advised, had advised the K9 supervisor, the K9 Hercules was favoring a back hip. We were advised that Hercules had a checkup coming up in early March from have veterinarian Dr. Megan Fields examine Hercules. Upon examination, it was found that Hercules has osteoarthritis in his rear hips, with the left hip having more signs of it. We received a letter from Dr. Fields, which is attached to the letter I presented to you, recommending that Hercules be retired as a police K9. This would help avoid worsening the ailment as Hercules starts to age. He is a 6-year-old German Shepherd, has been serving with us the past 5 years. He started almost 5 years and 6 days from today. So it was in March of 2019. As part of his responsibilities, he mounts and dismounts a police SUV multiple times a shift. He also performs training each month, both narcotics detection, tracking, criminal apprehension, and the latter two involve a lot of pulling on his harness when he's doing tracking and apprehension work. Hercules has been involved in over 667 deployments, which resulted in hundreds of drug seizures. He was utilized in the tracking and apprehension of 5 criminal suspects and assisted in 30 other apprehensions. That is the highest number of apprehensions and tracks for one K9 since the Greensburg Police Department K9 program started in the mid-90s. He's logged over 1,300 hours of training while he's been an officer with us. If the board chooses to approve K9 Hercules retirement, the Hirschberger family would wish to accept responsibility for him as he lives out his life on their family farm. And they've formed a very strong bond with Hercules. He's on his second handler. He was originally assigned with Mitch Tubbe.
I assume based on this information, it's your recommendation that
It is
we
definitely my recommendation.
retire and provide the Hirschberger family with they've willing to accept the responsibility, but this is also a good opportunity for us
Yes.
to have a place for him to go.
Yep. Yep. It's if you don't have a handler that's willing to take a police K9, it's really actually kind of hard to find a place that somebody's willing to take.
That sums it up. I mean, I think we'll go ahead and retire Hercules and thank him for his service.
3/31 is his last day, the end of the month.
Yes, 3/31 would be his last shift.
Does he get to have a party?
I'm sure we'll do something. Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
We can buy him a hamburger.
Yeah.
Big Mac. Do
Make
that.
it a double.
Double. In the past, we've just always asked for a motion, just that he's retiring and that they're accepting responsibility. I looked back to see if we had any legal documentation on former K9 handlers accepting responsibility. We've always just done it in the motion, just so that the responsibility then moves over.
So I'll set the motion to allow Hercules to retire and then for the Hirschberger family to assume care for him for the rest of his life.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed.
Thank you,
Perfect.
Board.
Thanks. Chief Sturmer, you have something on interviews.
Yeah, good evening. I just need to set an interview date. We have 2 candidates that will be doing their 2 lateral transfer candidates that will be doing their ride-alongs this week, Thursday and Friday. So we need to schedule some interviews for them. them, two individuals, preferably before our next meeting in April.
For Mike, the last week of March is potentially possible earlier in the week, and first week of April is fairly open, I think, from my perspective.
Does the 27th work, Glenn? Is that okay for you? Is that far enough out? Is that far enough?
That's our county fire chief's meeting, but that's, we can, run that.
28th, Thursday? You said earlier.
Yeah, Wednesday would be my last day of that week. I could do Wednesday, but not the 28th.
We can do Wednesday, that's no big deal.
What time
Yeah,
of day?
yeah, what time? Maybe 28th, depending on time.
Probably 5:30. That's what time we usually do, that's what time Jamie usually is available.
How many are we doing?
Two.
2 for 1? 2 for 1?
2 for 1, yes.
So Thursday, the 28th.
Thursday the 28th at 5:30 p.m. We'll consider it set. Thank you very much.
Donna, you have a sewer leak adjustment.
Good evening. I do, 'tis the season. Request a leak for the sewer bill on account number 921-26000 in the amount of $1,219.45. Do you have questions about any of the information you received?
Glad that the water employee noticed that and turned.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Could have had a skating rink.
I motion to approve the sewer leak adjustment.
So moved.
Motion's been made by Robin,
Second?
second by Lindsay. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Perfect.
Thank you.
Thanks, Donna. Zeke, you've got a couple updates for us. South Vine Street up first.
I do. Good evening, board, mayor. A couple things on my agenda. I'll start with, like the mayor said, the South Vine Street project update. Our kickoff meeting will be tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., so kind of long awaited for us. We've been after this for a bit. So I'll be meeting with Joe Henning Excavating and Strand Associates to kind of go over timeline and things like that. So just a quick overview of that. We're going to be installing 500 feet of 8-inch gravity main, plastic, and we'll be removing the 4-inch line that is there now. We'll be setting one manhole at the Charlotte intersection and have a projected kind of completion date of July and August. So with that, I have a couple of documents, Mayor, here with me. I'll probably catch you in between meetings. I will need you to sign the notice to proceed. And once I get that back to them tomorrow morning, we are clear to kind of take off. So, any questions on that one? Cool. I'll jump to the second here. Equipment building, concrete quotes. Just an overview of that. It's a 50 by 80 building. It's going to be around 80-ish yards of concrete to complete that. We've been busy trying to prepare for that. So, it's been 2-3 months here kind of waiting on the concrete. So I wanted to recognize a couple of gentlemen at the plant for their extra efforts. Roger Linkmeyer and Bubba Wilson. They have installed all the power in our building, as well as some lighting, all the fixtures, and they will also install the remaining, all of the lighting and stuff in the ceiling, so it's just saved us a gob of money. So I want to recognize those guys for that. I did not ask them for this. They came to me and said, we can do this, and we can save money, and I'm a proponent of that. So I want to make sure they were recognized for that. With that being said, I'll kind of jump into the quotes here. We got the first quote coming back with Hohen at $36,950. Second quote, Joe Henning Excavating, $33,400. Final quote, Corbin's Excavations, $32,200. With Corbin's Excavations being the lowest, I would recommend that we go with Corbin's Excavations for installing the concrete for our floor in our new equipment building.
Have we worked with them before?
Never have.
Okay.
That's a local guy as well, so.
of these quotes reflect the same services
Apples.
identically? Okay,
Apples to apples, yeah.
okay.
Have you checked references on, since we haven't worked with them before, have you checked any references?
He's did a lot of work
Other
here in
work
town.
they've done?
I'm sorry, yeah. He's did a lot of work here in town for others. I saw his work, pretty much all over the city. So he does good work.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we've saved some money and now we can spend some, so. I would move approval of the concrete work to Holman, you said?
Corbin's excavation, 32,200.
Corbin's, yeah. Corbin's for approval.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed.
Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Steve. Mark, you've got an RFP from NDOT.
Correct. Thank you, Board. Late last week, we got notification from that an application we submitted at the end of last year for the 4th phase of Park Road. We received funding that would take care of the construction, the utility relocation, and the construction inspection during construction. And the sum of money they granted us was $5.66 million. With this, there's kind of an understanding that we will get funding for PE, which is the preliminary engineering and design, and we will also for right-of-way at a later date. This RFP is for us to go about requesting letters of interest from people for the design all the way through the right-of-way preparation. It's pretty much boilerplate. I've got everything completed at the copy in front of you, except for the 2 dates in red, which don't get decided until it hits the NDOT application desk. And there's a DB goal on page 4, and I have requested that, and I'm waiting for a response because we have a certain percentage of the work that has to be assigned to a disadvantaged business enterprise that's pre-qualified for the state of Indiana. And they should be back to me within a week. And then before I can submit, I have to have what they call a preliminary conference to sit down and go through the entire process. But I'm hoping those dates that I put in, I'd like to get it on there on the 28th, have the last week of April so that we can act on it the first meeting in May.
Been waiting a long time for this.
They come around every year. So far we've applied the last 3 years and we've been funded 3 times in a row. So we're hoping for what, 1 to 2 more?
We've got a little bit to go.
Yeah, we can see the end of the tunnel.
Do you need a motion to approve this so that we can sign it when it comes back with the numbers or the dates?
No, I just want to let them be aware of it because they're the contracting entity when the contract comes. And we have to form a scoring committee. The last time we done it, I believe the mayor, myself, Zach will probably be involved, and I think someone from the Board of Works agreed to also score proposals, if I remember. I'd have to go dig.
It might just have been us.
I ran out of time this evening digging, but I will check into that, so if somebody would consider doing it, we'll hold your hand and get you through it.
Okay.
Smile, Rob, and just say, I'd like that.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
thank you. Any other questions for Mark on that? I'm going to do mine backwards because the first one is a little bit of business. So the Next Level Trails grant that I talked about at the end of the year that we were awarded a little over $400,000 for, we need to renew, extend, expand our agreement with USI, who's been our design firm that we hired back in 2021. If you recall, the Community Foundation provided the money to enlist them. We knew all along that that wasn't enough to get the project to completion, but in the grant award, we got to use those dollars that we've already committed as part of our match. And in the grant, there is money for this engineering contract to be expanded to design, to do final design, construction document, construction inspection, those kinds of items. So it is, it's about an 80-20 match. It's not exactly 80-20, it's like 78, 22 or something like that, but it's pretty close. So we have to commit money to the entire project. So we will be responsible for some of this, but a vast majority of it is paid for by the grant. So I would recommend that we continue on with our services with USI in their proposed agreement. It's a amendment to the agreement that we already have with them.
Pretty standard.
It's very,
Yeah.
it's only like 3 or 4 pages and stuff.
Remind me where the extension will go again?
It is intended to go from the end of the trail that is currently by the restrooms at Rebecca Park over. It'll connect Pirate Park, the library, and then to Main Street, so that when Main Street with NDOT, their project's complete, that pedestrian facility will connect to this.
Great.
Yep.
I'll set the motion to approve.
Motion's been made by Lindsay,
Second.
second by Robin. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Thank you very much. Just kind of quick update, we continue to meet. We are now starting to meet weekly as it relates to public safety and our safety teams for the Eclipse. We continue to see numbers and projections that continue to run online. We are in AccuWeather's good, very good viewing window. East of us is not as great, so that will probably only boost our numbers, hopefully. So we continue to look at that. We have secured most of the resources that we think we need. We continue to reconfirm that. We are hosting a meeting for the Lee Addition neighborhood that's east of the high school. Not next Monday, but the following Monday. They've all been invited to that to come, because obviously that's going to be very impactful to them. Our traffic plans that you all approved impacts them, so we're hosting a meeting specific to them. And then as just a note of information, everyone in their utility bill should have received this flyer. So this went to every utility customer in the city. If you don't open your utility bills, please do. And then you also received a postcard that has very similar information. This went to every residential unit in the city of Greensburg. So you've been warned. We've provided you some information. We're going to continue to push it. There is a phone number on the back, 844-260-1230. That is our Eclipse hotline, for lack of better terms. And we are in the process of getting all of our teammates signed up for their jobs. We're going to start that process. We had a department head meeting this morning focused on that. I'm sure there will be plenty of opportunities for volunteers. If anyone would like to volunteer, there's room for that too. So a lot of good planning's happening. We are within a month.
28 days.
Not that he's counting. And 29 until it's over. And we'll look forward to it then. So it's been going pretty well. Any questions on that? Lots of good teamwork work is happening. You all should have received a copy of the claims, any edits, additions, or corrections. Okay, if not, take a motion to approve those as presented. Motion's been made by Glenn,
Second?
second by Lindsay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Okay, before we adjourn, one last thing. Lindsay has tendered her resignation to me for this board. She's going to step away to be more involved in the family, and I think has enjoyed the last several months, year-ish.
Year and 4 months, I believe? Yes.
With us. Next month will be her last meeting as part of the board, and so I've started the process to fill the vacancy, but we will see her again next month, and then we get one more set of interviews.
Yes.
Yes.
I love the interviews. So.
And then she'll be off the board with us, but we'll be sure to give you lots of things. But then next month, but thank you now.
Thank you for having me.
Anything else, board? If not, take a motion to adjourn.
Yes.
Motion made by Glenn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed.